Okay. I wow. I'm gonna say it straight to you guys. Ghostbusters Afterlife is truly a worthy sequel. I mean, the ending, it's really gonna get you in the feels. I'll just say that right off the bat right there. And yeah, I say this is definitely worth a watch. I know if you haven't seen this movie yet, go and actually go out and see it and then come back when the stream is uploaded. But the whole point of synopsis here, there are going to be spoilers in this video. So if you haven't seen it, click off now, go watch it, and then come back. Now, if we already know from the trailers, Ghostbusters Afterlife follows the grandchildren of Egon Spangler, Phoebe and Trevor, and of course, his daughter, who is their mother. I think her name was Callie, I think. Yeah, it's Callie. Now, of course, the movie starts off with, him basically trying to trap something, and he took it to an old farmhouse that he built out in the middle of nowhere in the middle of Oklahoma. And you think he was going to trap something, but he failed to, and he died, and it only recently happened in the time scale of the movie. And as we all know, the Ghostbusters themselves are all broken up. Everyone thought that Egon had completely gone nuts. All of them have gone their separate ways. It's over for everyone. But that old house that was in the middle of nowhere, his daughter and his grandkids inherited, and of course, the town itself that is nearby where the mountain is of course an ancient burial site to Gozer the Gozerian. Yes, this is true. And of course, holy crap, he was actually trying to trap them the whole time. And of course, we already know the gatekeeper and keymaster are, of course, needed to bring about the end of the world. And Egon was basically trying to trap it, even in death. He was really trying to just prevent all this stuff from happening. And everyone, even in the town, all thought he was crazy. They called him the dirt farmer. But other than that, moving forward, yeah, of course, Trevor's just the average kid, kind of a bit of an awkward dork. He kind of messes up in places. Heck, the kid like failed his driver's test. But then later on, you see him Tokyo drifting through the town in the Ecto 1 from the trailers. And of course, Phoebe finds the ghost trap in the living room by doing a complicated little floor puzzle. She finds it, and there's an underground base, there's an underground place underneath the shed on the property. And of course, we already have all his mold spores and fungus stuff that he collects because, again, Egon was an eccentric weirdo. But it was still one of the things that he had a whole entire base set up to monitor the whole thing with Gozer. And now with all that happening, Phoebe stumbles upon all of it, and even then, you see little glimpses of like things moving around. And I'm gonna say it straight though. No, Barry, I shouldn't really, sorry, I can't really see without my glasses on. But there's a lot more stuff to do. There's a lot more stuff to deal with. And of course, it ties up a lot more loose ends with the first movie, like the infamous guy who created the building on Central Park Avenue West, the same building that was open to the same event of the first movie. The same guy, Ivo Shandor, not only did he build the town, but he knew exactly where the burial site of where Gozer was inside that mountain. It was mined. He owned a mining company, built the whole town, and obviously mined the metal that was used to create the building in New York. And a lot of other major events in history, like the Krakatoa explosion, World War II, the Manhattan event from the first movie. It all tied together. This whole movie brought everything full circle, and it was just tied it all together perfectly. And of course, we already have there are some moments in the thing that were pretty scary, but I wouldn't say it's like overall crap your pants scary. But yeah, the whole thing, it's one thing happens, it's a bit of a heartwarming thing, but then it goes boom, right in your face. Boom, like that. Oh man. Yeah, the thing is, the mom thinks that Egon pretty much abandoned her and her kids all those years ago, but he still deeply cared about his daughter. And I mean, of course, you have all the other kids. You have Paul Rudd as their teacher. Obviously, he's a seismologist trying to study some strange things about the town itself. And instead of teaching kids in summer school, he decides to show them old horror movies instead. Sounds like a pretty cool teacher to me. But again, since all that happens, and again, there actually is a little romance that blossoms between him and their mom. Just classic thing. And of course, the Trevor kid, played by Finn. It's hard to pronounce that guy's name, but yeah, he's also in that Doom movie. But yeah, there's always that scene in the movie where it's that I'm in that whole look of I'm in love kind of look shot where you see the possible love interest and the person's like head over heels, whether it's a guy or a girl. We all have seen that shot, and of course, that is the one showing of yeah, I'm totally in love shot. And I know she doesn't really add all that much to the movie. She's just kind of there. She did one little thing, and then suddenly she got near the end. She suddenly got turned into the freaking gatekeeper. She got turned into the gatekeeper, but it was really the mother and Paul Rudd's character that were the ones who got turned into the gatekeeper and the keymaster. Turned into the keymaster and the gatekeeper. Rudd was the keymaster, and of course she was the gatekeeper, Zool. And we already know what's going on here. But again, I don't understand why they wanted to make Gozer the same as she was in the first movie. And I know it's whatever it wants to be, and I'm referring to it as an it. But again, they wanted to make it seem like she's a goddess or something. It's just kind of weird. But other than that, even more crazier, Ivo Shandor's corpse was inside that mine. And honestly, when I saw the credits, like, oh, he's played by J.K. Simmons. Okay, that's just kind of I almost didn't recognize him, but yeah, he was doing that to basically bring about the end of the world. And he says, "I've been waiting for you, my goddess. I've done everything. I've done everything." And then straight up, she just walks up to him and the strip splits him in half. It's like, well, that just sort of happened. I didn't even want to participate in it. It's like that just kind of happened. Like, yeah, hey, thanks for bringing me back to the world. So yeah, this is what happens, people. Don't bow down to ancient immortal gods, because yeah, they'll say thank you, and then they'll just eat your soul, and they'll just eat you alive or whatever. I mean, seriously, Mr. Hafez and the Mummy Returns didn't realize that until it was too late. So many people who try to worship ancient evils, and they basically get killed for their obedience. So yeah, in the words of Tony Stark, not a great plan. Not a great plan. But still, we're going to keep going. We're going to keep going in there because, again, Phoebe is, of course, just the crazy the crazy science kid. She's the nerdy kid, obviously, an outcast and whatnot. And again, there's a little moment where she even has the exact same glasses as Egon. It's like it was one of many cute little moments and nods to Egon's character, and of course Harold Ramis. And even when she was repairing the proton pack, I think from the grave, we was built. I already figured it was going on in the movie, but Egon was slowly trying to communicate with his own granddaughter, and it's definitely one of the sweetest things in the whole movie, and it really shows. Literally, it is like grandfather, like granddaughter. They truly are one and the same, and she's just as dry as her grandfather, and it is just so sweet. It is truly sweet. And just moving forward, you had all those other shots where they had to deal with that muncher ghost, but actually they actually ended up coming somewhat in handy, almost leading up to the climax. So they had to try to get the equipment back from the police lockup. So yeah, the kids didn't go on. Obviously, the kids didn't go unpunished for what they did for pretty much wrecking the town with the proton accelerator. And there's just so much. I was just so over the moon with this movie. It was just truly special. And like I said, I didn't bother to go see 2016 again. Oh, how dare you for not liking this, you bigoted fool. I don't care. That movie was a travesty, and I'm gonna straight up say it. So yeah, go ahead and cancel me. If you go on my Twitter page, you can look me up. I already know you already know exactly what's gonna happen to you if you try to cancel me. So just think about that before you even try to hit that whole ban button. But moving on, there's so much more we have to deal with in this movie because, of course, that ghost muncher thing. It kind of just flew right through the diner while the mom and Paul Rudd's character were having like a sort of like little dinner date together, and it just got. Just kind of like whiz by them all oblivious, they were both a bit oblivious to it and whatnot. But yeah, and we also know the whole thing with the Stay Puft Marshmallow Men little things happening. And of course, we saw that little dragon. I mean, when I was in the theater, I just saw all the kids that were brought by their parents. They were all sitting there laughing at it, and they were all saying, "Oh, how cute they are," and stuff like that. It's like, oh yeah, I've kind of already seen this part, but yeah, it does get a bit scary at points. Like the whole point with the mom when she is possessed by Zool. It's a little bit it's a little bit it's a tad bit more scarier, but like I said, though, that only happens, the possession sort of happens right after the whole thing with a little moment of her seeing that her father still cared about her, even though he was trying to stop the end of the world. And the kids were over the moon, and of course, the best part that tied the whole movie together was, of course, the return of the original Ghostbusters crew, including, only in spirit only, Harold Ramis himself. Yes, he was in ghost form, but he was guiding his own daughter, his own granddaughter, and it was probably, my face just lit up when I saw that in the theater. It was just like, oh my God, that was good. Oh my God. Oh my God, it's him. I mean, we saw a glimpse of him. They used a bit of stand-ins for him, but it was really nice to see him come back, to see him in spirit. And even then, right as soon as before the credits rolled, it literally just said, "For Harold." And this is why this movie is certainly something that is worthy, and it was definitely worth the 30 years we waited to see this franchise come back properly. Because again, that reboot does not exist. You can be salty about it, you can enjoy it, it doesn't matter. I, as a fan who loved this franchise, didn't care to go see it, and obviously, I mean, we already know that everyone and their mom have pretty much ripped into the 2016 film to death. We already know this. And look, again, you can like that movie. You can like it, you can say it's canon, but it's literally just considered a it's really just considered a reboot, or it's pretty much a reboot of the franchise. But it really just, that to me, 2016 does not exist. You could even say the movie, like the Ghostbusters video game, is canon because it only takes place a couple years after that. So technically, Ghostbusters Afterlife technically is the fourth. It's technically like the fourth installment, and it's following the original team and now passing it on to the next generation. But they stopped Gozer. They saved the town. It was truly a wonderful film, and I really truly think if you are a Ghostbusters fan, this is going to really truly excite you. I mean, as far as I know, there's no setup for it. There's nothing up, but this pretty much tied the whole franchise together, and it was and I think it was a perfect bookend to the Ghostbusters mythos. It was truly a bookend moment for it, and seeing Egon back in spirit form, it was truly, truly beautiful. So yeah, I'm definitely going to tell you this. Go see Ghostbusters Afterlife. You are not going to regret it. But like I said, though, guys, that's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say on it now. You've already seen my face in another like little random live stream I've done. So like and subscribe. Go on to my Twitter page. And find my Twitter page. I have an Instagram. Follow me there. And I'll see you next time. Peace.